welcome back to Mysteries of the Maw. Hope you're having a lovely spooky evening. Last time, our group... No, you went off to get some help. You went off and you all, after walking through a mysterious door, ended up in what seemed to be a mental hospital. All excited about your game night with your friends, and all meeting with a mysterious therapist, as well as being asked to take your meds by a scary nurse. The only one able to see through this illusion initially was Els, and through their efforts was able to help free the rest of the group to give them advantage so that they could start to see through the illusion as well and break free. And then our good friend Nico confronted the therapist, realizing that was a mental projection of the guy who runs this place, grandfather. And once the group was all free from the illusion, they fought against the evil, basically giant spider that they had entrapped them all in the illusion. And while they were resting and healing, a person took care of another creepy crawly that was coming towards them. And we're going to pick up right there where you see this man. He's got salt and pepper hair, salt and pepper beard. He's kind of taller, broad-shouldered, maybe like 6'2". His face is covered in scars. He's got broken warden armor on, and he's holding basically like an old pepper box shotgun. And he looks to all of you and goes, "Who the fuck are you?"
Mal, is it your brother?
Mal, covered in ichor and blood from having continued to bash this spider after it was long dead, turns around and it's like, Els, it's my twin brother. And this is not a twin. He's older than me, so no.
You never mentioned if it was identical.
You have a point.
Thank you.
But
who are you?
I think I'm going to need you to answer my question first.
So
There's more of us against
dealing
you.
with a entity that we don't want to deal with again. Trust and believe it probably can handle you. So can we. Who are you?
And you just see him kind of like size all of you up. Look down at his shotgun. Rested on his shoulder. Out. And he goes, the name is Captain Lucas Bennett. And now that I've introduced myself, who might you be and how the hell did you get down here and are you real?
When I was...
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, when I was going through the files, the employee files, did I ever see anything?
You would have seen a Captain Lucas Bennett was a warden that was assigned to help transport the basically the shift change.
Okay. Would I know of them working at the core?
No. You would recognize the armor though, as it's, even though it's broken and kind of disheveled and clawed up and covered in muck, as it's the kind of very signature silver armor of the wardens. So it's this light plate armor that is mostly just kind of like a top of a breastplate and one shoulder pauldron that has a dragon in a circle on the shoulder. But he is one of the he looks like he's one of the wardens.
I'm going to carefully just kind of make sure Branwen is okay, and then stand up, helping Branwen to their feet if they want to stand up.
Yeah, I think she scrambles to her feet.
So Branwen, you get back to your feet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I would before we get involved in this with this guy, I'm just gonna kind of pull Malice aside and ask him to heal Kreg. Because Kreg is in rough shape because of Branwen and because of the monster. So before we deal with this guy, we got to make sure that our own are taken care of.
Mal kind of, he doesn't toss it, but just kind of lays the bat off to the side, grabs you by the shoulders. He's like, I got everybody. Don't worry. And while he goes over to Kreg, he kind of monologues a little bit. He's like, that is the captain of the ship that was going to come over and do the shift change. I've got his records when I was looking for my brother's information, so he's clear. He's fine, although I kind of eye him. Not sure if we can say he's real. So if somebody wants to check on that while I get Kreg, I'd appreciate that. And I'm going to roll my new ability for medic to try and heal Kreg here for some damage or for some harm. Hopefully I don't make it worse.
Yeah, I'll see.
If I use a bat, will that help?
Percussive maintenance. It works on mechanics.
Listen, if I break your leg, you forget about your broken arm, right?
Exactly.
So,
that was my dad, the doctor. That's how he treated us as kids. Yeah.
I got a 9, so you're gonna heal 2 harm.
Hey,
nice.
I am now stable.
Boom.
As they're doing that, and hearing what Mal said, Nico will eye Branwen just for a second just to see how they're doing, and then we'll look back at this captain and says, you have to forgive us. We have been through quite a lot, and the blunt truth is we don't trust you. Will you allow me to do my own personal scans to make sure that you are not one of it?
Personal scans?
Personal scans.
What the hell does that mean?
My eyes fractalize. It means I will be able
What
to
the
tell.
fuck?
Put it down.
Are you gonna tell me why you all are here? Are you you said you said you know me. Are you rescue party or what?
Nico, I'll talk to him while you scan him. I promise it is not a invasive thing. We are here. We were part of we are part of the recovery team that came to see why the previous team that was supposed to be the changing of the guard did not return, and why we haven't heard from anyone.
Because we're down here.
Oh, clearly. We saw the wreckage of the lab up on the surface near the maw.
Right.
And we all have been dealing with what I presume you have also been dealing with, seeing things, hearing voices, and talking with people who aren't here. Yes?
Right.
I promise you, I am real. And I hold out my hand for him to just, touch.
You see he switches the shotgun to his other hand, extends his right hand.
And I grab it and just kind of not like a, trying to assert dominance, but in a genuine, I'm real, I'm here.
Why are you so goddamn cold?
That is a very long story. I don't have time for, I'm afraid. None of us have a lot of time.
We don't have a lot of time before the next switch happens, so I strongly suggest we get moving if we want to make it back to camp.
Next.
One, as they're talking, there's not really an effect for it, truthfully. But I would just like to be able to, for lack of a better word, detect magic.
Yeah.
I would like to be able to just kind of see what's on him, the aura that he's giving off.
When you take a look at him like this, the aura that he gives you is of, I would say, what's the best way to put this? Like a celestial nature. In the sense that he has the capability to tap into that type of power. And you've seen this very commonly with clerics, paladins.
Okay.
Not to the extent that you see it from Kreg. Kreg is the difference is looking at a ring light versus a spotlight. Like Kreg is a spotlight, this guy's a ring light.
Gotcha. You said paladins, and with the word that now things are going together.
Yeah.
He will look at Kreg and shake his head, and he's not gonna shake his head. He'll give him an affirming nod.
Okay.
But then he'll look back. What do you mean shift change? How long have you been here?
We've been down here since we crashed. I'm talking about the change where the maw changes.
This is news to us. We've only been down here for an hour at most.
You've probably been down here for longer.
That would make sense considering what this place is.
Right. Well, the thing about this place is it is alive, all of it, and it moves and changes. You think you know the pathways, and then the next 30 minutes later, it's 2 different pathways. It's constantly changing. It's why we haven't been able to get out yet. We've got some of it mapped out, but we don't have all of it. And if we want to get the path that leads me back to my camp without getting stuck for another couple days, I suggest we get moving.
Please lead the way. But I must ask, are there more of you? Is there anyone else alive? There is.
There's about a dozen of us.
I turn and look at Mal's when he says
Same.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Mal's ignores it and goes over to Els and kneels down, and it's like, you took quite a bit of damage there. Let me help with that, and I'm gonna roll to heal some harm as well.
Okay.
And it's gonna be a 7. You heal 2 harm. I'm gonna rip the sleeves off my shirt and use them as makeshift bandages. When I do so, you guys do notice about mid-forearm up, Mal's skin does start to change to kind of a purplish hue, showing a little bit of his tiefling, since he is a half human, half tiefling.
I did not realize that.
A lot of people don't. How did you take the brunt of this as he's kind of wrapping around the acid marks on your back?
I was the only one who could see through the illusion. So, while everyone was unconscious, I hovered myself to make sure no one got hurt while I tried to wake you up.
So that's why you weren't at group therapy, if we can call it that.
Is that what you saw? Tell me more.
Tell me more.
As much as I love this history lesson, you can talk on the way.
I kind of gently ruffle her hair. And I'm like, we should probably get out of this scenario. We can talk.
I'm going to really quickly while they were discussing the maw shifting, he would have started to touch where he got hurt, and do a little healing himself. Could I use magic? Wow, which is a 13.
Nice.
So it's not advanced yet, but that is very high. So I heal 1 harm. If you're hurt, Branwen, you also heal 1. Great.
And the captain turns on his heels and begins to walk back down the ramp he came from.
I have a question. So sorry, really quickly. What does minion mean in Monsters of the Week? Monster of the Week?
Like a mob?
Minion.
Look, I know like when it says hunter, it's typically referring to like another player character, but what does minion mean? I need to know for a very specific reason. Okay.
A minion would be the smaller creatures that work for the big guy.
Got it.
Yep.
So this doesn't apply. I will do something while we're walking, but I'll let everybody else go.
Yep.
I'm gonna kind of turn aside and let everyone else follow after Lucas, and I'll make sure everyone else gets in front of me.
I will now, having taken care of everything, I will grab my bat, pick up a little bit of pace, and kind of hang behind Lucas a little bit. And be like, so, do you have a guy by the name of Ben on your shift?
Yeah. He was on the dossier for us to pick up. We lost him on a run, a few cycles back. Haven't seen him since. Doesn't mean he's dead, but you look a lot. You related?
He's my brother.
Did. Well, I mean, next time this cycle passes, we could perhaps see if we can go looking for him, but he hasn't been back in the last, I think it's been like 3 cycles.
How long is the cycle?
Generally, we count to what would be about a day and a half, and then it cycles. By what we keep on our timepieces, and he like shows his watch, which is like a cracked old watch.
Right. Let's focus on getting the people out that we know are here, and then we can circle back if need be. But I appreciate the information. And
get out.
Mal kind of.
That's funny.
Mal kind of just takes it to heart and just kind of slows down and slows his pace a little bit and kind of hangs in the middle of the group.
What is everybody else doing while you are following the captain?
I think as Kreg is trying to usher everyone in front of him, Elves just like stubbornly sits back and just like, no. And she just like crawls up onto his back where there's like very deep, I'm imagining bloodied slashes on his back from Bronwyn's attack, and she's going to attempt to heal him. And while they walk, like she's just going to play backpack just as she did with Branwen. So healing and walking.
Okay. This is going to be, I'm sorry, I just like flavor. Can I have else, and I guess investigate a mystery, so plus sharp?
Go for it.
Okay.
I like flavor.
Okay. 7 + 2, 9.
9. Okay. I think as you're stubbornly insistent on being behind, Kreg does reach his hand down to like help you up. Just knowing how you are and how tall he is, it's just like, yeah, all right, get on. And you go about to like trying to heal him and just kind of make the wounds not as nasty. I think you would notice as you're healing him, he has blood. You've seen it. He's given it to Dr. Nico, but it's not bleeding out of him.
Is it vaporizing?
Nope.
You fucking bleed weird. Are you okay?
I've been told that many a times, yes. Part of my condition.
Is it like black blood?
No. It looks like again with a 9. I think you just notice it acting weird. I don't think you necessarily see anything weird other than that.
So I think at this point she's now just like eyes fixated on yours, and like a parrot almost, just like she won't go on your back anymore, and she kind of like forces you to make a perch for her. She just like sits there and she goes,
"If I'm to heal you, you need to tell me more."
"And I want to manipulate someone."
Oh, all right.
Roll for it, my friend.
All right, so this is just straight up. I don't contest this. It's just
no,
whatever.
It's yeah. For another hunter, there's a list for another hunter. So what did you roll total?
For manipulate someone, charm is not my favorite, but I got a 7.
A 7. They mark experience if they do what you ask. So you'd get an experience if you answer Elle's question, Luke.
Me dangling an experience in front of you.
Just, do you want to treat?
Do you want to level up?
Do you want to level up?
What was the exact wording of your question?
Such a DM answer.
I know.
It really is. The way I said it before, I'm not going to rephrase it because I already asked it, is if I'm going to heal you, you're going to need to tell me more.
Okay. Kreg brings you closer so that you can kind of like, his arm's not up here, so but you're kind of like perched on his arm, kind of down below, so your faces are at level, and you would see him kind of like doing mental math or mental gymnastics of weighing the pros and cons.
Else I need you to not tell another soul.
I'm so sorry for being extra, Alec. Can I have everyone else but Els take their headphones off?
Here's what I'm going to do. Because everyone's in close proximity, I'm going to give each of them a chance to roll to see if they keep their headphones on. Because everyone's in close proximity.
We're in the back. I specifically said that.
So who would be who is standing next to the captain or nearest the captain?
I backed off after I finished talking to him, and I kind of slinked to the middle of the group, so I don't know where everybody else is.
So
I'm gonna be real. I'm probably closest to him because I need to do some things myself. But I thought we wasn't keeping secrets. So that's cool. Do you?
So Els and Kreg are in the back. Then Branwen, where are you?
I'm probably as far away from Kreg as I can be, so I'm towards the front.
You're next to the captain. So Captain and Nico up here. So the only person I'm going to let roll for this then is going to be Mal. Mal, can you roll me 2d6 plus sharp?
Okay. It's 2 5s, baby, plus my 11.
All right.
All right. So I need CB and Sydney to take your headphones off.
All right.
Wait, hold on. We got to wait for Sydney to... There we go. All right.
Okay.
Are you a vampire?
Else this knowledge complicates everything that you all know. But I'll tell you a little bit about who I am. I am not of this plane. I am not, as some would say, mortal. I can't reveal everything, but I can't necessarily die yet. I can be grievously injured, and I believe soon I will perish. I believe whatever is in here has the capacity to kill me. But it is something that outside of here would not be possible.
At this information, Els just kind of like takes like her small hands, just kind of like cups his face, and she goes,
Are you chasing mortality? Why are you here? If you can die, if you can't die.
I'm actually here to fix my immortality.
So you do want mortality?
No, I won't. I wish to not die. My cover, working for the banks, all that is simply a ruse to get me where I need to be. Since the drowning, I have been cut off from my home.
Were you there at the drowning?
Not there, but I was alive during the time I existed. I felt its immediate effects. I was there well before it. I felt what it did to this world.
So why are you keeping this from the rest? It makes no tactical sense.
It complicates things when people know what I am.
You're practically betrothed to Brownie. Doesn't that mean anything? I don't know emotions. But if we are to survive down here, this information must come to light eventually. But I will keep my word, even though I hate it.
I promise you this. If we all get out of here alive, I will tell everyone what I am.
Counter offer. If we beat Grandpa, then you tell everyone.
Agreed. And I just kind of put my forehead directly to yours, since you're already on my arm, and it's kind of like a weird, like, don't want to bring my other hand up. I just kind of boink heads.
I don't like secrets.
I don't blame you. They're not fun to keep. But everyone I've told has...
They're putting their headphones back on as the heads up.
It is difficult. That is all I can say. And I promise I will share. After.
So what the fuck do I do about your bleeding?
It will heal with any sort of regular treatment. It won't affect your healing.
Fine. But
Would it-
talk.
And then she puts like a finger to the side of your head.
Talk to Brownie.
And she just like scrambles back up and like onto your back and just starts like mending. Roll for it.
Yes. I think we've been doing plus mundane. Or not mundane. Yes, mundane. No.
Plus cool.
Cool is what we've been doing.
Okay, that's a
Yep.
+1. Okay, 7, 8. 8.
8. So you will heal 1 harm.
Cool. All right.
So the captain turns to you, Branwen, and goes, so y'all are some sort of rescue team or something?
That was the idea.
You look a little if you don't mind me saying, bit of a... Who sent you? The Corps? Wardens?
I'm not answering him. He's being rude, and I'm in a very bad mood.
Conversationalist. Great. And then unless there's anything else anybody else wants to do.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Different day, different mystery. While we're walking, I'm gonna do.
You do your vision?
Visions. Yep.
Okay.
Damn. 13.
13. So your eyes fractal over as they do. And what you see is a circle of campfires that are emitting this kind of weird bluish red flame from each one of them. It gives off this kind of ghostly light where it's not so much completely like lit up, but it's almost still in shadow. It's very strange. And you feel yourself hitting the dirt. And you look up and you see there is a... What was that?
Like hitting the dirt, or
like you feel like yourself you're pushed into the middle of this group of campfires. and you feel yourself scrambling to your feet. You see this large man walking towards you, and he tosses what looks like a piece of like broken, rusted metal in front of you that's got a bit of leather wrapped around the handle, and he goes, "Pick it up. Pick it up. I like my dinner to fight first." And then you are back in the present, walking with the rest of the group.
Oh, okay. The fuck? Ron, when you get concerned, or you get almost confusion, and then a jolt of I guess like aggressive feelings, and then concern, and then shock. Definitely shock at the very end, because who the hell?
When you have your visions, do your eyes change? Does anything about you change?
My eyes are always like stained glass.
Okay.
And
So
I would
there's
say
no.
it's less. Actually, I don't think I've ever explained this. Hey, 7 episodes in. It fractalizes, but not in the sense that something goes over his eyes. His actual eyes themselves seem to like crack and become like stained glass-esque. So you would see that. And he slows down for sure. He seems to always go on autopilot when he's in his visions.
But you've never outright told any of us that you have visions, right?
I think I've told.
You did in
I
earlier
have,
episodes.
I have,
Earlier
yeah.
episodes, yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then at that point, I would know that you were having a vision. And I'd kind of like nudge you with my elbow and look at you with concern, trying to non-verbally communicate with you so this guy doesn't notice. Is that?
Did the individual look familiar in any way, shape, or form?
No, you never seen this guy before.
Were they the only person in this campfire area?
You could swear you heard the sounds of cheering.
We've been through too much already. With that being said, he looks at Branwen and whispers, and there's a shakiness for sure. Follow my lead.
And
Okay.
as you say that, you see the captain stops in his tracks. And he goes, "All right, we're here." And you see you've kind of just came to like a plateau.
Mm-hmm.
And you see him kind of like look to his left and he looks to his right and he looks kind of around a bit. And you see him turn to the cave wall and he goes, bum. Oh.
Yeah. Before he makes a movement, the fractals do become clear as I hex him. Specifically, the target breaks something precious or important. I'm aiming to make sure that shotgun is out of commission for a moment.
Oh.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for it.
That is a 10 on the die, so that's 12.
So you hex his shotgun.
Yes.
Okay. Are you trying to do this sneakily or are you trying to do this obviously?
I'm behind him right now.
Correct.
And I should say, so with hex, when I cast a spell, we use magic as well as the normal effects you may pick from the following. So the normal effect is actually going to be to trap him. Along with that, something will happen to the shotgun.
So you're trapping him.
Yes.
Got it. So like he goes and what the fuck? What are you doing?
I need you to answer me.
I knew you were pieces of shit.
I need you to answer me before we walk into.
And you see, he starts fiddling with a shotgun, but it's busted now. Fuck, and he throws it to the ground.
I will not consider you to be an enemy, but you need to answer me. I can see things. Where are we going?
We're going to our fucking camp, like I told you.
What color is the flame of your campfire?
It's fucking fire.
Is he telling me the truth?
He looks, I'll tell you this, he looks flabbergasted at the question.
Okay.
Like he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's fire.
I will just say flat out, someone is going to attempt to eat us.
When you say
Branwen.
that, you see his face like, how the fuck do you know that?
As I said, I know things.
Then you know that we've been stuck down here for a long time. Our supplies ran out a long time ago. So we do what we have to. And so we give everybody a fair shake. You get in the ring, you win, you live to see another day. You lose, your dinner.
You realize we're not going to let that happen, right?
Who said we were good? You're here to rescue us. Why the fuck would we eat you?
I need to read a bad situation.
Go for it.
That's the best thing I can do right now. Because all of that is off.
That's a lot to take in. This is a lot.
Per my premonition, I take one forward to prevent things from coming true.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna add a +1 to this. I'm not good at sharp. I'm great at sharp. Math is a 10 with the +1.
Okay, so ask you questions.
Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
So when he says, "Why the fuck would we eat you?" I would say it would be Kreg and Els that hears the sound of guns cocking behind you. And they go, I would strongly suggest you let him go. And there you would see now there are two figures dressed in a lot less like kind of fancy regalia as him. They look like it's like patched together clothes. Their faces are all very dirty. There's a woman with like patchy like kind of what's the word? Matted brown hair, long brown hair. And then there's a bald like old gentleman who's just staring silent. Both of them with rifles pointed.
Hi, can I
Yes,
do
Kreg.
something really quick?
Sure.
I have a move called Angel Wings, and it specifically says I can instantly
Right.
go anywhere that I can have been visited before.
Mhm.
I've definitely visited the area behind these people, right?
Yeah, I mean you walked there.
Cool. Turn into a nice little blizzard, and I just appear behind them, and I want to have my razor whip wrapped around the neck of the bald man.
Do I go too?
Yeah, I think you would.
Then I want my flamethrower at the base of her neck. It's just like
I highly suggest all of you stop.
Your
I
friend
hate-
started it.
My friend has premonitions that allow her to see things. If you all have been eating one another instead of dying with a little bit of honor, then I believe we will need to have a nice long conversation about where your ideals
I need you to
stand.
take 2 harm for me, Kreg. When you say die with honor, the man visibly gets incredibly upset, puts the gun like this and fires.
It is -1.
Yeah,
Because
so you
of my
take 1
armor.
harm as he fires the gun into your face.
Cool.
There's
and
no
then-
such thing.
What was that?
I was gonna say there's no such thing as a reaction, but Mal was listening in to Kreg and Els.
Mhm.
Could I have drawn my gun as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anybody who wants to do anything, you can do it.
Then I would have had my gun trained on both of them, kind of switching back and forth. When he fires at Kreg, I want to let one rip right in the middle of his forehead.
Go ahead and roll to kick some ass. And then we're going to kick off combat.
What is happening?
It's going to be a solid 11. No, 10, sorry.
10? All right. So you can either gain an advantage and take one forward or give one forward. You can inflict terrible harm. You can suffer less harm, or you can force them where you want them.
I will inflict terrible harm to the individual.
He drops. So you have a dead man now hanging in your whip.
Well, I'm just character-wise, Els would go after the girl immediately after seeing that they shot after Kreg.
After I shoot the guy, Els, roaster.
Roll to kick some ass. Roll to kick some ass.
I don't know if that'll do it.
It's plus tough.
Plus tough. Nope, it's a 6.
6. So mark experience.
Ooh, finally, level up.
You are going to take 2 harm as the woman's able to basically knock the flamethrower from her throat, and she fires at you point blank.
Okay.
Branwen, what are you doing?
Oh, hi.
Mhm.
The great question. I don't think she rages. But I do believe that after seeing Els get shot, she rushes over to pick her up and yells at everybody. Just stop for like 5 fucking seconds, okay? We're supposed to be protecting and rescuing these people. It doesn't need to go like this. Calm the fuck down. I'm gonna heal Els. Okay.
I suggest all of you do as she asks. I don't want to kill any of you.
And so the woman turns and looks at you and says, "Says you. What? You got a problem with the way we've been surviving when we had no other choice or turn into those fucking things out there? I'm sorry you lived down here for 6 months, and tell us if you stay clean."
When she says that, I want to do the move, manipulate someone. But I want there to be that same rage that Nico saw after tampering with the mixtures of my blood and everything. And I want that frost to start spreading from my eyes. And I want to immediately just grab the gun. And I guess this might be a different role, but I want to just literally freeze it so the metal snaps.
You're going to roll to kick some ass again if you're going to try to damage the gun.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just damaging the gun, not her. Okay. That's pretty good. That's a 9.
A 9. So you're going to take another 2 harm from the gunshot that results from you grabbing the gun.
Cool. Still
but then
-1.
you will break the gun then after that.
Cool.
Nico's going to look at the captain, who's assuming is the leader of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to note that Nico's pretty calm right now. He just sighs out. It is one thing after another, after another. We understand your situation, but from what I felt and saw, you were going to force us into a situation we didn't ask.
Oh, we weren't gonna. But now that you killed one of ours, we get one of you. That's how the rules work down here.
We don't apply to those rules.
Just eat his body.
And also, all of this is your doing. We were gonna welcome you in, help, explain things to you. And how it works down here, but you can fuck right off and take your rescue and shove it.
We are showing you grace.
Oh, but not murdering us. Such great rescuers.
Technically,
Thank
we
you
only
for your
murdered one of you.
grace.
As I said.
Let me go and fuck off.
I just look at Branwen, see what she's doing. You can tell that Nico does not care at this point. They're not his quarry.
Honestly, at this point, she's mad. But she's to the point where being mad doesn't mean anything anymore.
Mm-hmm. Can I tell where the mad sits? Does this in frustration with the party? Does this with a specific individual, an event? Like, can I tell any of that?
It's a frustration with everything. She's mad at the party. She's mad at these fuckers. She's just overall frustrated. Because this place is getting to all of us in ways that we weren't fucking expecting. And it's making us do stupid shit. And she looks at you with that anger, apathy, disappointment, frustration. She heals Els, sets her down on the ground. And walks away.
You just walk into the maw?
I'm just, yep. Just gonna walk away.
As she walks away, I think that she would get a sense of, it's not disappointment, because I don't think he necessarily feels like he did anything wrong in this moment, but I think there's a level of resignation. But he'll look back at the individual who's still trapped and his weapon is pretty darn busted. Unfortunately, you have your ways, and within the last moments or so, we have been forced to have ours.
You forced it. This is all on you.
You don't have to go into the blame game at this point. I don't.
If you don't want to take responsibility for your actions, that's on you.
Your molecules rearranged. Stop talking. As I said, we didn't intend to cause a problem, and I'll admit I acted on a vision that I had, but unfortunately in this moment I had to. I'll be quite honest with you about that.
You remember that when your friends are dying screaming out there. You remember that. You remember that vision was so important. Remember that.
All right, I'm done with this. Mal pushes past Dr. Nicolai and just takes the bat to the dude's head.
He's in the thing.
Yeah, he's trapped right now.
He's trapped in a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's trapped in the thing. That's right.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I still try.
I stop Mal. I block the bat with my hand.
So what, Kreg? Now we're defending monsters, cannibals.
Hey, your brother ate people too.
The trap starts to close in on itself very slowly as he continuously starts to antagonize. He just slowly goes in.
So he rolled a 12 for use magic.
Okay.
And you see as it begins to close, you see there's the dragon symbol on his armor glows a little bit brighter. And you can see your fractalization, your cage begins to crack. And he goes, I'm just going to go home. And y'all can fuck off into the dark. All right? And we'll find our own way out. Because if they sent a group of murderers down here, we're good. We know what we did. At least we acknowledge what we are. You all, I think you got some figuring out to do. Because your friend over there, it's about 5 minutes to the switch, and she's walked off into the dark. I suggest you go follow her before you don't see her for another day and a half.
I look at Mal's, and I give you a look of do not go after him. And I am going to follow Branwen.
It's so funny because there is nothing that he is saying that is, and this isn't character as big bad, but there is nothing that he is saying that is phasing Nico in any way, shape, or form. He acknowledges it. But as Kreg begins to go, he does look at Els to make sure that Els is.
Well, Els is with Kreg on Craig's back still,
okay,
yeah?
Yeah. Just making sure.
No, I healed Els and put her on the ground because she got down and did.
Oh, right, she got shot. Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
I would pick up Els on my way.
He's going to softly, like the gentlest touch on Mal's back, on Mal's back, and like push him towards the group, just so he doesn't make an irrational decision. This isn't, you can't do anything, but he's just not this very second.
Mal decides to turn and walk away. On his way out, though, he turns back one last time, looks at Lucas, takes his pistol out, and shoots the girl in the head. Yeah, there's dessert for you. And I'm following the rest of the
No,
group.
you're not. Roll to kick some ass.
That was a 12.
That's 12. So you kill the woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the cage that that Nico has put around him shatters. And I need you to roll me 2d6 plus sharp, please.
Plus sharp?
Plus sharp.
Okay. That's a 6.
Okay, mark me an experience.
I'll take the XP.
Jesus Christ.
As the cage shatters around this man, he closes the distance quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "You think you're so much better?" And he slaps the side of your head. And all you get are the images of what your brother had to do to survive down here. And I need you to take one harm. And then he removes his hand from your head. We'll find you. And he turns and walks away back towards the side of the cabin, side of the wall where he was trying to go this entire time.
Really quickly. Hold.
And he looks to Nico. He goes, 3 minutes.
Very next row only. Okay. I was trying to figure out what forward meant. Is it ongoing versus forward? Okay. As Mal shoots as he gets slapped or whatever he does.
Basically, he palmed the side of his head and gave him visions. Essentially,
Fucking Vulcan mind grip, yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
I'm sorry, y'all. I was just gonna leave, and I think I am, but okay. He will watch the individual, and again, he hasn't really left his spot. And however he takes it is up to him. But he says, "I do hope you get out of here. I want you to know this isn't personal."
That one's gonna get you killed. And he just nods over to Mal. It's going to get you all killed down here. Get your people in check.
But I would suggest bringing up cannibalism before, not after.
It's not something you can just lightly bring up.
It's not something you can heavily bring up.
2 minutes.
He will give him a nod, and he will kind of about face, hands behind his back, and start following and start going towards Els. When Nico walks next to you, you can feel tension. However that's interpreted, it's up to you. but he will continue. He'll walk past you and continue.
Mal?
Mal will wait for Nico to walk a little ways past him, and then I'll start slowly walking backwards away from Lucas. And then I'll, after a few steps, just turn and follow.
And you see the man turns around, and anybody who would look back would see a couple people come out of the wall and like look at the body. You see there is like what looks like a younger man who kneels over the woman. And just he seems to be sitting there, and two younger people come out and look at the bald man that are dead, and you can see Lucas seems to be explaining, points off into the distance to where you all are going. But as he does that, you see what was a large cavernous hallway you were all walking down. You can see from the sides the black tendrils move in, and you see where they were behind you is now a wall, and you can feel the ground begins to kind of shift and move underneath you. And this now long hallway you were walking down now turns into what feels like a ramp heading downwards. And as you're walking down this ramp, you see it forks once you get to the bottom. So there is a pathway to the left and a pathway to the right. What are you all doing?
Branwen's gonna go to the right.
Okay. Do you just wordlessly turn to the right and walk that way?
Yep.
Okay.
Just walking.
Got it.
Whatever part of the group Mal can see, he follows, but hangs far back, kind of chewing on the consequences of his actions and of the vision that he was forced to witness. So he just follows in silence.
Kreg wordlessly follows. I think probably clutching at his face, considering he was just shot in the face.
Mm-hmm.
I think Els, you would notice he just has like he's just literally doing this. Yeah.
Would you say that I technically prevented my premonition from coming true in a way?
Technically.
Okay.
What at what cost?
At what cost, right? Not my intention.
I love breaking the tension with like, so listen, technically.
Technically, yes. For now, anyways.
For now, anyways, exactly. But yeah, things can happen over again. He thinks that definitely has some repercussions. I think Nico is going to be the one to break the silence. And I won't lie, it's going to have like that disappointed, like when a classroom gets a substitute teacher and they think they can do whatever, and then the next day the actual teacher comes back and it's just like,
he's sitting on the desk, just
so you know what you did, right? But I think that's the tone, that's the vibe. I think we all, and he says all, and he stresses all, so others don't think that he's like absconding himself or like getting out of being in trouble, right? But he says, I think we all can take a breath. I think we are all letting this place get to us. But
the whole reason we came down here, right, was to save people. There were 12 survivors in that camp. Now there's 2 less. So, anyone else planning on killing any more survivors that we're supposed to save? Or have we completely lost ourselves down here?
Great. I would note that, Branwen, you would get from Nico. There is a sense of guilt, but I think it can be placed with acting on the vision more than anything. I will be the first to say that magic always comes with a price, and the one thing I was not expecting was the potential to be led into a trap. Not by those who aren't touched by this place. So I would admit I could have held off on my own actions. So it's clear, because I don't think the rest of you were cognizant to this. My vision entailed being pushed into the ground and being forced to fight before I was consumed. The assumption was that this individual was leading us to that group, which is partially true, whether it's a survival tactic or not. I cannot fathom what people are going through down here, so while I do not condone their actions, I can understand, at the very least. Either way, I will admit to acting on that to make sure that we were safe. Past that, I cannot say I understand how it got to this point.
They shot him in the face. I was just trying to protect.
No one needed to die. No one.
Mal speaks up. We've been, I'm assuming, walking for at least a few minutes now, and he's been just silent in the back, kind of just chewing. But when he speaks, he has anger and regret in his voice when he finally breaks his silence. They were monsters, and they died months ago. And I do regret that it ended the way that it did. But they came after us. And I won't pretend that knowing what my brother did doesn't eat me up inside. But he's also gone. And I promised that thing that I would make sure to bury it down here. So whether you're made of black goo or whether you're a survivor eating people, a monster's a monster. And I won't apologize for protecting you guys. Because that's all we got left.
In your effort to bury this thing, are you willing to bury us with it?
I hope it doesn't come to that, but if that's the only way we can, then yeah.
Do you hear yourself right now? You say you're protecting us, you say you'd sacrifice us to make sure this thing doesn't survive. We need to sort our shit out. Because if we're not down here to, one, save the people we came down here to save, if we're not here to escape, then what the fuck are we doing down here? Because this thing is bigger than all of us. And we are not going to defeat it. We're 5 people. This thing is massive, ever-changing. They've been down here for 6 months, and they can't find a way out. What do you think we're gonna do? Listen, I don't know how much longer we are going to be down here. I guess we should shack up someplace. Clearly there's places for us that we can find. There's rooms. Obviously that place was a reoccurring space, right? So it's not like it's completely making things up out of nowhere all the time. So we need to find a steady room, set up there, and figure out what we're going to do. Just going to keep walking.
Mal goes up to Kreg with his Phantom of the Opera-esque face on his hand. And he rips up a bit more of the collar on his shirt. He's like, do you mind if he's going to try to bandage you up, try to get some of that harm off you. With a 7. Where's my medic?
Before you roll, I guess you already did.
I can undo my roll.
I do mind, frankly.
And he pulls his hand away, and it's like fractured. There's like just a hole where his eye probably was. And it's just like, and instead of there being like anything else, it's just ice. It's just like something, like a whole chunk of ice just filled in. And that black tattoo has now encroached even further across. So it covers that icy, and the tattoo even covers the ice. So it looks like there's this black tendril going through, and it's just a mass. It doesn't like conform to the rest of his face. He's just horribly disfigured.
No. I do mind.
And he does not get healed. But something else happens.
So you all walk for what seems like hours. It's just this one straight hallway that you've been going down for a long time. And then you see a bit of light at the end of this kind of pitch black tunnel you've been walking through. Do you walk towards it?
I guess that's Branwen's call, yeah.
Yep.
Branwen, you keep walking towards it? Cool.
Right through it.
Okay. As you all walk towards this light, eventually it gets brighter and brighter, and it's not so much like daylight. It's not so much like torchlight. It's kind of this iridescent green glow that begins to fill this end of the tunnel. As you all come out onto what kind of seems like a balcony, like a veranda almost, overlooking a cavern that is immeasurably large. As it rises hundreds of feet above you and hundreds of feet below you and to the side and to the other side. As you see through the middle of this, you see off, this is way away in the middle of this massive cavern, is this long black spire in the middle that kind of pyramids at the bottom, thins in the middle, and then pyramids at the top. As you see kind of at the top of this cavern, you see all of these different inky tendrils kind of growing from it. You see hundreds of these different little platforms and other places down there where you can see shapes moving about. And you see what looks like these like large beetle-like things grabbing these kind of green iridescent bulbs and flying them around this large cavern. And I need everybody to roll me 2d6 plus sharp.
You said they're grabbing what, sorry?
It looks like they're grabbing these, like, because it's so far away, you can't really tell what they're grabbing, but it's these glowing iridescent green like pods that they're grabbing and flying about the space.
6.
6? Okay. 3? 9? Okay.
9.
9? Okay.
9.
9. 9, 9, 9. So for Kreg, your new vision is a bit of an adjustment. So looking about the space, you don't really see anything. For Mal and Els, the two of you spot down to the, like, far down, you see kind of wrapped in tendrils is what looks to be some sort of craft. Way, way down, several hundreds feet down. It looks like some sort of maybe support craft or something from the drowning era. Has been kind of like almost like stuck to the wall. As you see, it's kind of wrapped in tendrils, but you see that. For Nico and Branwen, when you step out onto this balcony and you look down, you feel dizzy. You feel pressure on the sides of your head. And you feel that same feeling when you were first hiding when you found Mal. That there is a threat as big as you in that direction. And it seems greater.
Just a quick question, because it is kind of, wait. Hold on. Never mind. We weren't necessarily investigating a mystery, were we?
No, it was just kind of my version of a perception check.
Gotcha. Never mind.
I would like to read a bad situation, please.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, 8 + 2, 10.
10. So what would you like to ask?
What is the biggest threat? What's the best way to protect my party? And the best way out.
Okay. The biggest threat that you can visibly see is you've seen these like Slender Man like creatures, kind of around the maw. You've seen the spider. But what you see, what you thought was a building, a mound down there, you see begins to move about the space, about this cavern. And what looks like, have you ever seen the movie Pacific Rim? The gorilla monstrosity that had the EMP. So it's almost like this large gorilla-like creature that is moving itself around the space. It has to be easily 100 feet tall. As you see, it's moving around the space, and even its size is dwarfed by this space. Now, for the answer of your other questions, the best way to protect your group is to get out of here as soon as possible. And how to do so may be that ship. That's down there.
Maybe or is, because the question is, what's the best way out?
That's your best way out. From the limited information that you were given from the captain, who said that this place is constantly changing, and you weren't able to gain any more information from them on how it changes. Without those variables, at least your mind sets on, that's a drowning era warship that's down there. It's a support craft, but it still has guns on it. It still has cannons on it. You could use it to get out. As long as it's still running, of course. Or at least if you could get it working.
Fuck, and I'm the mechanic. Okay. So I think Els at this point is kind of like using like Craig's head as like a leeway thing to like kind of look over, and that might also be why you rolled so bad, is that you're like my hand's covering your eye. But I look over and there's like this expression on Elle's face where she just kind of looks off into the distance, and you can see the cogwheels turning over her head, and up until this point, she's been kind of phased out, kind of in shock of what happened recently. And she just kind of calls to everyone.
There's movement down there. It is a large creature. But our safest way out is a ship I see down there.
And when Els says this, you all see what they're talking about. Not only the ship kind of that's attached to the lower wall in the bottom of the cavern, but you also see now that moving mountain down there.
As she says this, I would like to, where are you at?
Wisconsin.
Yeah, I would like that too. I would like to investigate a mystery.
Okay.
But specifically, I look at Els and look at everyone and I say, I am curious to know what all has been down here. Perhaps something can help us or someone. And with my investigate mystery, I'm specifically going into the site because it says that spirits and things give me more opportunity to spot clues when I investigate a mystery. So he's trying to get more information than just a base investigate. Potentially, there's anything that has any remnants of spirits or something down here that I might be able to.
Okay, go ahead and roll for it. Els, was there anything else you wanted to impart to the group that you saw?
Let's see. Since Els has done thorough research on the flood, the drowning, I think she also imparts the knowledge that there are potential weapons attached to this ship that if she can get to it, she can try to fix.
So we need to make sure if we are actually going to go down there, we do so undetected. We do so silently, because as soon as that thing sees that we're here, we're fucked. And if we want a chance in hell of getting out of here, we need Els to be able to have the time to fix up this machine. So we can't do anything rash. We gotta be quiet.
I was going to ask for the result of CB's site.
I'm about to say dirty 10 out of 10.
Dirty 10?
Yep.
So as your eyes fractalize, you see there is what looks like a handsome young man. He's got kind of like long blonde hair. He's got like a long duster around his waist. He's got what looks like a sword on his hip, but it's kind of like spectral. He's partially see-through as he's sitting on the balcony, basically like with his legs hanging off, looking at everything down there.
Hello.
Oh, fuck. You can see me?
I can.
Shit, that's cool. Oh, how's it going?
I assume you can guess that it's not that well.
Oh, no. Yeah, this place is fucked. Yeah, so it's probably not great, huh? Bishop. And he extends a spectral hand.
He's so precious. I'm keeping him. Can they be my familiar? I will kind of. There's a hint of a smile that comes across Nico's face, and he will extend his own hand and shaking the air to everyone.
Yeah, it just kind of passes through and he goes, fuck. Yeah, I forgot I was dead. Damn. So what's up?
Before I continue, because I get to ask two questions, does my conversing count as me spending one of those questions? Or
no? When you ask like the big money questions,
great,
then I'll count them.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did he just ask? I'm so sorry.
He said, fuck, I forgot I was dead. As his hand passes through yours as he tries to shake your hand.
Yes. How long have you been down here?
Shit. Well, these fuckers had just arrived. So how long has it been since that?
It's been hundreds of years, right?
Yeah, it's been. If he's saying I
When they
arrived
first arrived.
when they first showed up. Yeah.
Yeah. It has been some time.
Damn.
There is a spire and big thing. He looks at the spire. He kind of just looks out and one of the questions is essentially, what is it going to do? But he kind of wants to tweak that for the spire, and he just says, "Do you have any idea what that is supposed to be?"
Oh, the big fucking noodly thing?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll see, like, these fuckers, they were kept in check by a big old DK, you know? They were his dogs, right, that he would send and do his work, but like he still had to keep them in check. But since DK ain't around no more, they kind of ran wild down here. And I personally think that like they're trying to like spread, you know? So they grew quite a bit. So that center spire is kind of like the support thing. And I wasn't very smart in life, and I'm not smart in death. I apologize. But from what I understand, it's like, how they're spreading their shit. Nasty fuckers.
Yeah. Well, that is definitely a problem. I'll have that's one of my questions. I guess I'll just ask. And then he looks down at the mountain of a creature.
Mhm.
Do you know what that is?
Oh, that? I call him Steve. But there was like a big, what was it? It had, what is it called? It's got teeth, big teeth. Big teeth.
Shark.
Nah, lizard, big teeth.
Dinosaur.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, me and my buddies, we were fighting it. They had like already taken it over, and then like it fell in here or whatever. They got it, and then like kind of just used it to make whatever the fuck that is. They've been doing a lot of experimenting on anything that comes down here. So they're working on stuff. Seems like he seems nice enough. He can't see me, but maybe he wouldn't be so nice to you. Name's Steve.
Yes, Steve. We're going to try to avoid Steve.
Probably a good idea.
Well, do you have any inkling of how to deal with Steve, or should we just avoid?
You see, he just kind of looks at him, and then he looks at you with a... Don't? That's probably the best way. Don't.
He does. He is arguably the scrawniest here too. So he just, yes, that's fair.
Yeah, just don't.
Well, we're going to try to go into this ship if you would like to come with us. But I don't know if you can.
No, I'm still looking for a fucker down here, so I gotta stick around.
Who?
Well, so I ended up here because I finally tracked down the guy who took my wife.
No.
And then turns out he had joined good old DK, and then we fell down here while we were fighting. So I know he's down here somewhere. So I'm waiting to find him.
I'm sorry that someone tried to take your...
Well, more so he killed me, took my life, pretended that he tried to save me. It was a whole thing.
Well, if we find him, I will give him a hearty hello.
Oh, yeah. One right between the eyes.
What's his name?
I can't remember. What's my wife's name? What's my daughter's name? You see he now just kind of becomes lost in thought.
Okay, well, he like pats him on the back and away he just goes through, comes back to the group. My apologies, I met a friend. I don't know.
Similar to the one that was at the lab back on the surface?
That, yes.
Ah.
They believe that this creation, this monument, is a means to spread whatever the maw is. Really quickly, because CB knows, but do you think that Nico would understand what DK was referencing?
Yeah, DK, Drown King.
Yeah. Just making sure.
Yeah.
And perhaps they're looking for the Drowned King. I'm unsure, but that could be a secondary part to our escaping, finding a way to sever. We can't handle this. And he looks at Brandon when he says that, and there's a level of like just repeating her words. But we can stop it from progressing.
Did you find out about any weaknesses?
He doesn't believe we should try.
Els believes Nico. I think she's just trying to analyze the entirety of the situation. You mentioned that there were like beetle type things. I would like to investigate a mystery to determine how hostile they'll be if they notice us.
Okay. Roll, my friend.
That's not going to be good. That's a 6.
6?
Can I help out?
Yeah.
Since that's pretty good. All right. Hey, okay. That is gonna be a 9.
A 9. So 7 and 9, your help grants them +1 to the roll. So it'll be a 7, which will be a success. But you also expose yourself to trouble or danger. Is what 7 to 9 means. So as you see, Els is like investigating, looking at these beetles. You, with your new normal of sight, you're kind of trying to lean to like look as you're like leaning over the balcony, and you feel your balance kind of slip on the oozy floor as you all see our good friend Kreg go over the balcony.
I latch onto him. Oh, freak.
You try to grab him?
Yeah,
It's all good. I blizzard. It just returned back.
Oh, that's great.
Thank God.
As you blizzard back up.
That was actually scary.
But these
Scary.
So you roll the 7 to 9, so you get to ask one question. Else.
Freaking A. Well, okay, I'm gonna ask, what can hurt?
Do you want to go back to your original kind of query, or are these things hostile?
Yes.
Okay. So they've actually buzzed by you a few times. Like basically they've kind of flown by, and you seem like they seem kind of like drones, like worker bees. Like they're picking up these things, delivering them to different places, and they're not really paying you any mind. Very similar to in the Matrix, those kind of drones that would just come by, and even though they were out of their things, was just like, all right, and then would keep moving. Like they have a set task that they do.
So with that, after just kind of like hitting the back of Craig's head, like, I'm so scared. Els is going to just kind of like calm down.
So, neutral news. These insects don't seem to be noticing us. So, my original hypothesis was that they were potentially eyes for whatever that is. But it seems that as long as we do not disturb them.
Side eyes Mal.
then we may be able to get to the ship.
Yes. Right. Question. For elves, mainly, actually. How close are we to one of those green orb things that they keep passing around?
You see now, as you're looking, they're on the walls. So you can see like they're kind of these like almost like pimples growing out of the walls, these green iridescent orbs. And upon further investigation, on the nearest one to you, you see there's a person inside of it. You see there are people inside of these orbs. Animals inside of these orbs.
Large. Okay.
Yeah, these bugs are about the size of like a mid-sized sedan. Like
no!
They're big beetles. They're not little. They're like, and so they're picking up these human-sized orbs and transporting them.
All right, so I know which Love, Death, and Robots episode you modeled this one after. Okay.
No, you don't.
Sorry. Just really quickly, not to like shift anything. I just realized what the dick. I am blanking so hard. There we go. You mentioned that Big Boy Steve was Bishop just kind of like joking, or was this thing literally once a potentially prehistoric creature that has now been changed because of them all?
He seemed like dead serious, that he told a story about him and his friends fought something like this, and that was already infected, and that they had taken it and changed it. And that's what they've been doing down here. Is anything that gets stuck here, they take it and they shift it and they change it.
Oh my God. So as he looks at the big things that look like they have animals or beasts or things
and people in them, yeah.
And people, his eyes just kind of travel and they actually get kind of wide. Oh. We need to exercise a lot more caution than we previously were.
Why?
Because if Bishop was telling the truth, and now I'm seeing these sacks being delivered, they're being changed into what the mall wants it to be. That was once a massive creature of ancient origin.
That's why they were experimenting on us. Why they were feeding us things, tricking us into eating parts of it. They're making an army. Even though the drowned king is gone, there's still worker bees. And I guess they never really got an order to stop. But maybe if we ever run into Grandpa, whoever that person is, we can ask them a little bit. Hey, quick question. None of them are sentient, right? Like they're passed out in the orbs. Or are they alive?
You'd have to try to climb up to one to see.
No, I'm good. Never mind. No.
Just a suggestion.
I have a question. Would I recognize the kind of beast that Steve is?
I mean, upon investigation, it looks like it used to be like you can see the long, elongated, like it moves like a gorilla, kind of like with these two like oversized arms, like that are like larger than the rest of its body, and you recognize the long snout of it and like the teeth that kind of overlap, as part of the jaw, like these long, almost like bus-sized teeth. Like as far as like length goes, kind of overlapping from its jaw. Like perhaps maybe it was once something prehistoric. Now it has been twisted and changed into whatever the fuck this is.
So King Kong just zombified.
King Kong plus Godzilla zombified.
Oh, sweet. Even better. Great.
Yeah.
I love that.
God Kong.
Like the reptilian God Kong. That's dope. That's his new name.
God Kong. Okay, so like
God, it's gonna look at Steve. It's got it.
That's his real name. God Kong is his real name. Steve
okay,
is
but
his
I
nickname.
would be like, oh, I've seen one of those before, right?
You've never seen a God Kong before.
Okay.
I think as we're looking around and trying to ascertain and do our smart thing, Steve, I think his eyes have settled back on the ship, and he even looks at Els. So how do we get down there? Silently.
It's about 300 feet to the bottom.
I can, at the very least, attempt to conceal us. It would take a little bit of work, but I will be quite honest, this is not my forte. I can bend the weave to my will, but I don't know if I can do much here.
Can I investigate a mystery to see how we can get down there?
Sure.
Okay. Sweet. No. Oh, that's not that bad. Well, no, it's a 6.
That's mark yourself an experience.
Well, I tried.
Because as you're thinking about the way that you could get down there, frustration waves back over you as now knowing that the ship was here and knowing that you were about to meet a group of survivors that possibly would have had something to help you scale this wall.
Right. How's Mal looking right now?
Mal hasn't moved from the entrance to this balcony. He's just kind of crossed his arms and leaned against it, just kind of staring off into nothingness. He noticed the ship and everything with you guys, but he's kind of decided to take a step back because he doesn't want to ruin anything. He's now willfully and fully understanding of his ability to fuck things up, not in the sense of doing good, but in the sense of causing issues. So he's taking a step back.
All right. Hey, Mal. You take your time. You take your time to answer that question, actually. You think?
All good.
Okay.
He acknowledges you. He turns.
So, you fucked up, right? That doesn't mean you get to check out. Come here. We need your help. We need to come up with an idea to get down there. Do you have any?
He does that thing, you know, when people are leaning against a wall and they do that worm to push themselves off it and brings himself back up, and he walks over, he looks over the railing, he looks at Kreg. He doesn't make eye contact with Kreg. He looks like anywhere but your eyes, right? I'll look at your mouth, I'll look at your chest, anything but. Like, I don't want to meet your gaze. How does your God damn it. Sorry, I just caught your cam. Sydney. How does your whirlwind thing work?
It is restrictive in a way. I can only immediately go to places I've been. I'm afraid going to places I have merely seen is a bit out of my reach. And before you ask, yes, I already tried using it to get out of here just as a test, to see if we could leave. And
but you can travel within the confines of this hellhole.
Yes.
How much time does it take you to cast it or use it?
I just reappear behind you as like you get washed over with snow and ice and you feel very chill, but I just appear behind you.
At will.
Can you do that down in the ship?
I believe so, though I will admit I'm limited on how many people can come with me.
But it's instant.
Yes.
And you have to have been there before.
Yes.
Push him. I'm not saying I'm going to. You push him over the balcony. Let him jump down. Before he hits the ground, he teleports back up here. He's now technically been down there.
I'll just scurry on the wall. It's fine.
Yes, but it's filled with the tentacles, so if it detects you...
That's a really good point, Mal. However, how do you feel about it, Kreg? You're the one falling.
I will admit I've fallen from higher. But this would certainly be risky. The timing I would have to do would be fractions of a second. And if I mess that up, I would cause a lot of noise, draw attention to the ship. Though I would not be in immediate danger, as I would immediately reappear with you, all eyes would be on the vessel, essentially preventing us from using it.
Mal, again, arms crossed, sorry to interrupt, turns over to Nico, and for the first time regards you by title, feeling disconnected from everybody. Dr. Nicolai, can you cast anything to slow his fall so that he has more time?
You're muted.
Can't hear you.
I'm muted.
Now you
not.
are. Now you're good.
Now you're good.
I then I was being noise gated. I was like, no, I'm not.
Gaslight, gatekeep, noise gate.
That part. I can do a plethora of things. At least attempt to. I was considering potentially trying to conceal us from sight and sound.
While you do that, let me scurry down.
And Els is going to dismount off of Kreg and just like go over to the wall and just kind of like place her hand on it. And flavor wise, for my experience, I leveled up and I took on the incorporeal trait, so I can move through solid things. But flavor wise, you see her hands like a chameleon start to mimic the color of the wall, and she turns into like this little like black little demon thing.
Like a little gecko.
Yes. Trust me. Conceal the others. Let me crawl down and fix the ship.
Alone?
They might not be able to see me. I can't bring you with me.
Why not both?
She like touches your leg and you do not change color.
It will work.
No, I meant you crawl, he jumps.
That
He
is
could
even...
be seen. I won't.
I look at Kreg. I need to understand something that you have not revealed. What is your blood? It has power, but it seemed to hurt you. I will not hurt you, but I have an idea that unfortunately will require it, or something of you.
It will not hurt me in the way that your initial experiment would, as long as you're not wishing to combine my blood with any other substances that have come out of this place.
I look at Els and I say, I believe your plan can work, but at the risk of separation, let's make that a plan B.
But he gets separated.
If plan A works, then no, he doesn't. Or I should say plan X and Y, not to make it seem like my plan is better than yours. I'm just trying to...
Let me fall with him.
He has a ability.
I've experienced it.
I'm wondering if I can amplify that ability.
Expand on that.
If he has the means to teleport or transverse. I'm a transverse beach. No, sorry. Happy Pride. He has the ability to traverse in a way that is not necessarily arcane, but it is something. It is manifestation. If I can use his power to expand it, potentially get all of us to traverse in the same form, at least once with him, it would require some big magic.
I think every person here actually has a little bit of magic. So we could all chip in. If it's even possible.
But let us weigh pros and cons. If it works, it works. In what way? Uncertain, because magic's never certain. But if it doesn't, you can guess what the consequence could be. So I will not do without everyone being on board, and I am willing to let Els try her newfound gift, if that is safer. I'm just worried about you being alone is all.
I'm worried about Kreg getting seen.
That is the trade-off between the two different plans, is the risk with using my ability. I'd have to fall first before transporting all of you there. I must first be there. And so that runs the risk of the initial meeting. Then our eyes would only be on the ship, not on us. But if Els gets discovered, Els is alone and cannot immediately return to safety.
I appreciate that you want to help Els in any way that you can. And I know and I see that about you. But you don't have to be the one that puts yourself in danger all the time. Not when there's another way.
Kreg gets down on down on one knee to like be more on the level with Els.
You are brave and courageous, and your desire to help all of your friends and keep us safe is admirable and noble. But I made a promise to get all of you out of here. To you. And if we don't get all out of here, then no one knows about me, as per our most recent deal. Allow me to try and protect all of you. At the very least, eyes may be on the ship, but perhaps if we're able to just wait it out if I fail. They hear a noise, inspect it, find nothing, and then move on. I know not if that is how these creatures will react, but I believe this is our best shot.
I disagree, but majority rules. Go for it.
Is this what we desire to do?
And Kreg stands back up and addresses the rest of the party.
Mal just kind of shrugs like it was an option that seemed feasible, but ultimately it's your magic. So the only thing I can give you guys as a piece of solace is if he doesn't make it, y'all can throw me overboard for having it be my idea.
I promise that will not be necessary.
I need y'all to stop self-martyring yourselves. Honestly, it is not helping any of us right now. Els, you're not going down there because I don't want you to die. Mal, you should not be beating yourself up over it. Not right now, at least. It's not fucking helpful. All of you, let's just fucking do something before they notice that we're here.
Do you allow me, Branwen?
I'm going to put a hand on Craig's shoulder. And I'm going to Oh my God! Hold on.
Oh no.
I'm going to put a hand on his shoulder, and you see his hand begin to, like, you know, the shattering of magic and whatever start to go up his hand, but then suddenly stops. As he stares at the ship, he says, "Before you go, I'm going to use magic. Because one of the effects, the literal effects, is observe another place or time. I'm going to see if I can observe in the ship."
All right. 9. So you look into this ship, and the ship looks alien in origin. It looks like this, the inside, the kind of like slender minimalist design inside the ship now harkens back to your history lessons that this was a collective ship that is stuck down here. It looks to be in decent shape inside. And as you kind of guide your way through it, looking through the hallways and the passageways and the bridge and the different places, you come to a storage area. And there is a large, call it container that is oval in shape. About 6 feet long, maybe about 4 to 5 feet wide, and about 3 feet tall in the back, in the storage.
In the same vein, I would like to do one thing that is beyond human limitations.
Okay.
I would like to attempt to share this site with Kreg.
Okay. I'll just say it happens because you got a little Kreg in you. So I'll just say
Okay.
Hey, it ain't little.
But I would say the vision is shared when you put your hand on his shoulder.
You are touched by something more. With that means you should be able to do more. Per our conversation back on the ship, do you need to have physically been there?
Okay.
As now his mind has been there.
All right. This is going to be a question for Alec.
Mm-hmm.
The specific wording is you can go instantly to anywhere you've visited before. Technically.
Because here's what I'll say. I'm going to offer you a deal.
Okay.
Because we established it as a place you have physically been to before. But if we're going off the example of Nightcrawler, if they kind of have seen it in a way, they can go there, but it might not be perfect.
Yeah, I will say it does say or to a person you know well. So
what I'll say is you can roll for it.
Okay, all right.
Avoid any mishaps.
What I will say is by rolling for it, you're going. Whether you make it there or not, you will be teleporting. I will say that.
Don't you do it. I know what you're thinking. Don't you dare do it.
Don't.
No, you said
No.
you said that if you failed, then that's it. Okay? Don't you dare use that fucking last luck point of yours.
I love how you knew immediately that's where he was going.
Oh no, I saw the look in his eyes. Don't even.
Do we all get the same amount of luck points?
Yeah.
No.
Y'all did.
He didn't.
Got it. Okay. I was
What
gonna
are
be
you-
like, there's no way he's used that many, but if you have a different amount.
Gregorica, if you freaking die,
Hey,
I will revive you and kill you again.
No. Just take a chance.
I'll
Just
Take
do
a
it.
breath
chance.
and break away.
Take a chance.
Thank you. That's where I was going.
Roll 2d6 plus weird.
Yeah. That's what I have to roll if I try to carry more than if I try to carry people with me when I do this ability. I have to roll this. So. If I didn't have a negative and weird, it still wouldn't matter. There's a glint in Craig's eyes. And I don't know, I just get a vibe that he's feeling lucky as he does it. He spends the luck point, but it's not his last.
It's still one.
You happy, Alec?
Oh, I'm incredibly happy.
I know you are, you smug man.
I am only setting up things that you offered.
That's
brought to
true.
the
I'm
table.
loving it. I'm just like.
So you
delicious.
go, and you vanish, and suddenly, the squishy spongy ground of the caves that you have been walking to is replaced by hard metal. As you appear in the hall of this pure white ship, all the walls are white, all the floor is white, everything is clean and orderly. It looks like, nothing has been moved in a long time, but it's very symmetrical, very symmetrical is the best way to describe it. Like everything is kind of like in these like kind of perfect set rows. And then you hear this tss noise behind you. As you see some of the lights in the ship begin to kind of flash on, and flash on. As you see like some of the systems of the ship detecting somebody on board have begun to turn on. And the hissing noise turns into a kind of ka-tunk noise as you hear something move behind you.
I turn and look.
So you see that pod that was shown to you by Nico. The lid is now open and off to the side.
Obviously. Mm-hmm.
And you see sitting on the edge of it is a being with blue, almost green skin. And two short horns rising up from right here. And he looks to be wearing just kind of what looks like, shorts or something, like kind of their equivalent of like a bodysuit on the bottom. And you see he cracks his neck from side to side. And he looks at you and goes, "Who the fuck are you?" And that's where we're going to stop for tonight.
Yeah, I knew it.
Thank you all so much for joining us. I literally ended this episode almost the same way we ended the last one. Thank you all so much for joining us for this episode of Mysteries of the Maw. I have been your game master, Alec the Bard. Thank you so much to Tumidlynx as Kreg. Thank you so much to Jackie Elena Chan as Els. Thank you so much to CriticalBard as Dr.Nicolai. Thank you so much to SydneyOfHighTower as Braylon. And thank you so Branwen, not Braylon. Braylon's a character from Infection. I'm sorry. Branwen. And thank you so much to Latinos Against Spooky Shit as Mal. We will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.
Oh my god.